Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Let's quickly take over around the world of sports this evening with some Nigerian lovely stories. Like I told you in the morning, yes, the UEFA Champions League draw has been made, the playoff draws, and then we're going to see possible meetings in the round of 16. We will look at those qualifications. It is Real Madrid, Manchester City again in the playoff. Who wins this time around? We're going to be looking at that full draw for the UEFA Champions League playoff. And then we'll look at some story on the Europa League stage where it's about one man, Victor Osimhen, where he's doing big things. And we'll look at the NBA results, some league fixtures this evening. And also we'll look at the transfer stories. Okay, let's begin from the cricket world where the junior female Yellow Greens team on the 19th team are set to arrive the country today. Definitely they will be touching down in Nigeria after that great outing in Malaysia where the team finished overall as in the fifth position after winning one game and in their group stages where they defeated the almighty New Zealand and they got to the Super 6 stage just because of the heavy downpour. They didn't play against England. That game was washed away, and it favors the English women's team. And their second game against Ireland, they won by 6 runs. But at the end of the day, that is for England. They qualify ahead of Nigeria to the semi-final of the ICC Under-19 Cricket Women's World Cup going on in Malaysia. That event will end on Sunday. The top 4 teams right now in the semi-final, England, Australia, South Africa, they will be doing battle. Who wins it this time around? Australia are the defending champions of that particular event. So let's see what happens. But for the Yellow Greens of Nigeria, it is a good outing for them, and they are welcome. From Sports Updates, we are saying welcome back home. You have really done us well right there in Malaysia. Kudos. I think they need a presidential handshake for their great outing at the ICC Under-19 Women's World Cup. And with their achievement, with that feat so far, they have qualified for the next edition of the Cricket Women's Under-19 World Cup. That will be coming up as the next edition in 2027. So definitely for the Yellow Greens cricket team of Nigeria, we'll be seeing them going back to the Women's World Cup in 2027. Congratulations to our girls, and they are welcome back home after a good job right there in Malaysia. All right, we'll leave the cricket team and look at this particular story now. You saw it on the screen before now. That is Super Eagles, where ex-Super Eagles player Femi Ajilore, he says unity strategy key to Super Eagles 2026 World Cup qualification. Yes, we know the situation we are in our group. We've played 4 games, 3 draws and 1 loss, and we have 3 points. So we are not even in the top 3 of the World Cup qualification. Match day 6 and match day 5 would come up in March, and definitely the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be looking forward to get their World Cup qualification campaign back on track in those 2 games. So what will they do now? A presidential task force has been set up to ensure that Nigeria qualifies for that World Cup. We cannot afford to miss the World Cup back to back. We were not there during the Qatar 2022 World Cup, and this time around Nigeria, their qualification is on a shaky note, but we can still get it right. All we need to do is to win our remaining games, and hopefully, just hopefully, we'll be in Mexico, Canada and USA. The 3 countries will be hosting the World Cup in 2026. So Femi Ajilore, former Super Eagles player, is advising, yes, that all hands must be on deck. What the important thing is that unity, strategy are the key to seeing Super Eagles qualify for the 2026 World Cup. Let's leave the Super Eagles quickly this evening. We'll look at this from Cairo, from the CAF headquarters in Cairo. Yes, it's good news for all of the clubs on the continent of Africa Yes, we just have to. I think it's still one thing that the continent it still needs to change is the away go rules. That has to change because the away go rules has already been changed in Europe. We also need to change it on the continent of Africa. But one good news now is previously, if you are leaving a team to another team, in the same season where the CAF Confederations Cup and the CAF Champions League is ongoing, you cannot register that particular player for the new club when this competition is going on in the same season. But as it stands right now, yes, that has been changed. Now, any player moving from one team to another can, if you are in the Champions League before, you can also play in the CAF Confederations Cup. They can also register you. And if you are leaving one club from, maybe you are leaving one club that is playing the CAF Champions League, going to the next club who is also playing the CAF Champions League, you can also register the player for the new club. I think it's a welcome development coming in from CAF. Yes, change is, they say change is permanent in life and change is constant. That is what it is. We have, at least we've clamored for these changes for long, and now CAF decided that just yesterday, and it's a good news for all of the footballers plying their trade on the continent of Africa, moving from one club to the other. So let's see how far it will go. Like I said, good news for us. The Confederation of African Football, like yesterday, announced that regulation. Now players can move from one team to another, and they will be registered for their new team to participate in the competition. He said who has participated CAF Champions League of the CAF Confederations Cup, a player who has participated in either of this competition for another football club within the same football season can also be registered. By changing this, yes, the player regulations, the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup regulations are now similar to that of the UEFA Champions League and UEFA Europa League registration regulations. So kudos to us for actually coming up with this change, and we are happy that it's no better time for this change to have come, if not now. All right, let's leave the Confederation of African Football and go back to Super Eagles story, where one player, yes, Nathan Teller is his name, just one outing for the Super Eagles. Now, due to injuries and fitness issue, he has not really been having that time with the Super Eagles, but he has been fantastic so far since the beginning of this season, and now he has set his sights of coming back to the Super Eagles. That is the player on the screen. Nathan Teller is his name. He plays alongside Victor Boniface for Bayer Leverkusen, so he's looking forward to see if he can get a Super Eagles comeback under the new coach Eric Chell. You are seeing him on the screen right now. That is Eric Chell, the new Super Eagles coach. That is the Malian, Franco-Malian coach, which the Super Eagles has hired. For Nathan Teller, 3 goals this season and 3 assists to his name so far in all of the competition that he has played for Bayer Leverkusen. This is a fantastic winger, fast on the wing, and he's a pacey player, and we need such players in the Super Eagles. But it's now left for Eric Chell, if definitely Eric Chell is going to look the way of Nathan Teller to come in with his own wealth of experience to join up the Super Eagles. Like I said, Super Eagles will be in action by March, for match day 5 and match day 6 of the FIFA 2026 World Cup qualification. So if he stays fit and injury free, he might just be lucky to get that call up under the new coach, that is Eric Chell, who's now in charge of the Super Eagles after the NFF Technical Committee deemed it fit that Eric Chell is the man for the Super Eagles job. All right, let's leave the Super Eagles and we head straight to Europe. We're still looking at the Super Eagles though. Now we'll talk about one player. Ever since he left Italy on loan to join up with Galatasaray in the Turkish Super Liga, he has been fantastic, and he has been ranked among the best players so far in the league phase of the Europa League this season. That is Victor Osimhen, who plays for Galatasaray in this Turkish Super Liga. Osimhen right now in the league phase of the Europa League, he has been ranked second best player, and then he got his 5th Europa League goal last night where they lost to Ajax 2-1. But despite that, they finished 14th. We looked at the table this morning. We saw where Galatasaray finished. They have qualified for the playoffs. Definitely they will be playing the playoff. Like you all know, the Champions League and the Europa League format alongside the Conference League has changed drastically. It's now played in the league phase. Yes, it's playing a league phase, unlike what you have. You play from the group stage and what have you, and from the UEFA Champions League, teams drop down to the Europa League. But it's no longer it's no longer like that. You have to play it in a league format, and where you finish on the table matters a lot. So from number 1 to 8 qualifies automatically for round of 16. From 9 to 24th, battle it out for playoffs to get the other 8 teams that will join the already qualified 8 teams. And Galatasaray find themselves in the playoff region, and that draws will also be coming up, and we will give you the draws of the Europa League playoff. Definitely you will get to know the team that Victor Osimhen and his teammates will be facing in the playoff. They finished 14th with 13 points. Definitely they will be playing. The only 2 players who are ahead of Victor Osimhen on the goal chart for the Europa League this season, we have El Kabi 7 goals and Barnabas Vaga, who's having 6 goals. Osimhen has 5 goals. But if we look at the ability of the player, he has been ranked 2nd best player so far in the league phase of the Europa League. 5 goals to his name. What a way to go. Ever since joining Galatasaray, he has been fantastic, in fine form for the Turkish Super League team. We're still looking at Super Eagles player exploits in Europe. Now we look at this particular one. This time around, we switch from the Europa League to the Champions League. Yes, 2 Super Eagles players will face off in the playoff. Yes, before we look at the draws for the playoff, these 2 Super Eagles players, they also made it to the playoff. One team, the other team drew while the other one lost. But despite that, he got his 1st UEFA Champions League goal for Club Brugge. We're talking about that own Ademola Lookman and Ralph Onyedika, who plays for Club Brugge of Belgium. Both will be facing each other in the Champions League playoffs. Yes, you heard that. They'll be facing each other in the Champions League playoff, 2 Nigerians. So it's going to be Super Eagles versus Super Eagles in the playoffs of the UEFA Champions League. The playoffs will be coming up in February. Definitely, we're going to be seeing a lot of actions in the playoffs. Big teams are also there in the playoff. Real Madrid, Man City. Let's look at the full draws for the playoff. Let's look at the draws for the playoff, and then possibly we'll look at the full draws. Road Bayern, as in the final will come up in Munich. We'll be looking at how it's going to pan out, who is going to make it to the final and what have you. But this is the playoff draw. We have Club Brugge against Atalanta. Sporting CP will battle Borussia Dortmund. Manchester City will play Real Madrid, a repeat of what happened last season. Celtic against Bayern Munich. Juventus will play PSV Eindhoven of Netherlands. Feyenoord of Netherlands against AC Milan of Italy. Brest will battle. It's going to be a all French affair. That is Brest against PSG. Both of them play in the French Ligue 1. And then also we have Monaco will be battling it out with Benfica in the playoffs. So these are the playoffs. The draws came out just some hours ago, and definitely it's a mouth-watering playoff, mostly that one between Manchester City and Real Madrid. Who wins? Real Madrid. Both teams have faced each other before now, and it's going to be another cracker in the playoffs. So the league format, well, that is the way to go. If you don't finish between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you find yourself in the playoff. Let's just look at the whole scenario and the possible pairings in the round of 16. Let's look at that. We have, you can see on the screen, the playoffs are this way: Brest, PSG, Club Brugge, Atlanta, Manchester City, Real Madrid, PSG, Juventus, Feyenoord, AC Milan, Celtic, Bayern Munich, Sporting CP against Dortmund, and then Monaco will play Benfica. At the other side, a possible round of 16 pairing, Liverpool or Barcelona will either play whoever wins between PSG and Brest. Losli or Aston Villa will play whoever wins between Club Brugge and Atalanta, and then Real Madrid, Man City, whoever wins that game either play Atletico Madrid or Bayer Leverkusen. Depends on how the draws will go. Juventus, Arsenal or Inter Milan. Then Feyenoord, AC Milan, we're going to see Arsenal, Inter Milan, that one also. Possible draws: Celtic, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid. So it's looking like this. These are the possible draws in the round of 16. But until after the playoff, then we'll know who made it to the quarterfinal. You can see the quarterfinal at the other side. You have where you have Barcelona and Club Brugge, Aston Villa. You see the pairing. If you follow it rightly, Atletico Madrid, Arsenal, you see the quarterfinal pairing from Man City, Real Madrid, Juventus, PSV. All these teams, there is a possibility they are going to meet each other in the quarterfinals, so on and so forth. Then look at the final. So for the UEFA Champions League, yes, we are in for the playoffs. Definitely, let's see the teams that will make it out from the playoffs and join the already 8 qualified teams in the round of 16. Let's quickly look at some league games tonight. We have some league fixtures that will be coming tonight in Europe, in the top 5 European league, but we have some no EPL game tonight, but we have in other leagues. Leganes, that is in the Spanish La Liga, will play Rayo, and then in the German Bundesliga, Werder Bremen will play Mainz 05. And then in the Italian Serie A, we have Parma against Lecce. And then the French Ligue 1, we're going to be seeing Montpellier versus Lens battling it out in the French Ligue 1. All of these games will be coming up tonight, but for the EPL game will come up tomorrow, Saturday, in the English Premier Football League. And definitely you are going to be seeing all of those fixtures, all the weekend fixtures from the NPFL, La Liga, EPL, Italian Serie A, the German Bundesliga on our weekend sports show. Definitely you'll be seeing all of the fixtures, and it's going to be a super weekend in the English Premier League. It's Arsenal, Manchester City, big game in the EPL. So you'll be getting all of the fixtures, all of the hypes, the booze, and what you have for the weekend in the footballing world, from the NPFL to Europe, with Gishafe on the weekend sports. So you'll be seeing all of those fixtures. All right, let's move away from the league games tonight, and quickly let's look at the NBA result. Games were played in the NBA earlier as of this morning. Let's look at those results. And in the NBA, the biggest franchise, they call it, Atlanta Hawks lost to Cleveland Cavaliers, 115 to 137 points for the Cleveland. And then LA Lakers defeated Washington Wizards, 134 to 96 points for the Wizards. Minnesota Timberwolves blew away Utah Jazz, 138 to 113 in that game. And then the Houston Rockets just lost by a point to Memphis Grizzlies, 120 points for the Grizzlies and 119 points for the Rockets. And then the Orlando Magic lost scandalously to Portland Trail Blazers, 119 to 19 points for the Magic. So the NBA also is getting interesting. Who will be crowned champions at the end of the season? The top teams from the conferences, the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, will come together, and then they'll battle it out in the finals. Who is going to lift the giant NBA trophy this season? You are in for the best when it comes to the NBA. Let's go look at some transfer stories on the show this evening. We'll start with this. It concerns a Nigerian player, that is Benfica now have approached Genk in the Belgian Julipa League for Aroko Dare. He's a man who is still waiting for his first call-up for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Aroko Dare is a Nigerian player. He plays for Genk in the Belgian Jolipa Liga. Let's see if definitely a man who has scored 14 goals so far, if that deal will go through, if he will join Benfica in the Premier Liga in Portugal. And then let's come back to England. Everton eyes our own Super Eagles striker Taiwo Awoniyi, who plays for Nottingham Forest. We know that the transfer window will be closing on Monday, so teams will have to wrap up whatever deals they have. They have just 72 hours to the end of the transfer window, the January transfer window. So let's see if definitely for our own Taiwo Awoniyi, if he will be moving from Nottingham Forest to Everton. And then another transfer story this evening, on this is also coming from the English Premier Football League. Tottenham agrees to pay £50 million for Bayern Munich forward Matis Tel. Matis Tel, fantastic guy who is also on the news. Manchester United is also working their way around this player if they can actually get him to their books. And then we have the last one on the show this evening, where Al Nassr to make final bid for Brighton winger Kaoru Mitoma, who's valued at the sum of £90 million. We know that our own Victor Boniface deal going to Al Nassr, that deal didn't go through, as Al Nassr prefer to sign John Duran of Aston Villa and leaving our own Victor Boniface. Well, it's a good one. Let's see if definitely Brighton will accept the fee that Al Nassr will be coming with. They value their player at the sum of £90 million. Let's see if definitely they will bring, in fact, they will cough out £90 million for Kaoru Mitoma, who plays for Brighton in the English Premier Football League. All right, this is where we'll be leaving it on the show this evening, sports update. But we will not just leave you like that. We'll leave you with some highlights, some football highlights, NPFL, NWFL, NNL game. Just enjoy and have fun for the evening. It's a great weekend. Thanks for watching. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.